Assalamu alaikum friends. Elections are being demanded by PTI by its chairman Imran Khan. They want the elections to be held as early as possible. They have been pressurizing the government of Pakistan, the PTM government, to hold the elections as soon as possible, but the government has contacted but election commission who is responsible for holding the elections has contacted the army for the sake of provision of security personnel, but they have refused it. And then election commission also contacted the ministry of finance to provide them with the money because a huge sum of money is needed to hold the general elections in the country. But finance ministry says that they don't have money at all, that the national exchequer is empty, and that is how, plus a kind of new digital census is going on, and it needs to be completed for, maybe it will be completed on the 30th of April or what, I don't know. But there are senior analysts who are found saying that the elections are cannot be held so soon and so early. Plus, they are of the view, even the government is of the view, that the elections will be held on the same date throughout Pakistan. The elections of National Assembly as well as that of the provincial assemblies, and it cannot be held on different dates because of certain reason. Money is one reason, and the completion of this new digital census is another important reason. So I have heard it from several renowned journalists and analysts, and they have been found saying that most probably the elections are not going to be held and so early, and maybe all the elections will be held on the same date, and the government too is trying to somehow hold the elections on the same date, and they want all the stakeholders to agree for that. Now I don't know whether whether the whether the PTI and its chairman Imran Khan will agree it upon it or not, but they want the earliest election. They don't want to delay it because they are of the view that if at all the elections are delayed and maybe their sport will decline or whatever the reason. But there is another technical question, and that technical question is that there will be at the time of National Assembly elections, at the time of National Assembly elections, two of the provinces will be having the elected government and not a caretaker one, and those elected governments obviously will be belonging to a political party. It could be that of the PTI or it could be that of any other political party. Now the question is that if at all there is a government of PTI in the two provinces instead of the caretaker government, willn't they be interfering, and will they allow the free and fair elections? Most probably not. So for that reason, I think that the government of Pakistan, the PDM government, as well as the opposition, the main opposition, PTI, I think they should work together so that the elections could be held on the same date, both that of the National Assembly and that of the provincial assemblies. So, because that will be having certain and several advantages. First of all, obviously, the election, the money spent will be reduced drastically because the national check is empty. So, for that reason, I think a huge sum of money is needed, maybe 100 billion or even more, money will be needed. And for that purpose, I think the right thing is to hold the elections on the same date. The elections of the National Assembly and that of the provincial assemblies. Plus, this digital census should be allowed to complete, and that is really, really important. And after this is being held after a longer period of time, it is important actually to know and to understand the right sort of population and their age group as well. My dear friends, that is so, there are certain and there are many compelling reasons for that. So it will be really good that if at all in the larger interest of the country, the state, the general public, both the PDM government and the PTI and its chairman should agree upon holding the elections on the same date.